Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It is chamber check-in time, and today I am honored to feature Ryan Cleverly, the Chief Operating Officer for Ball Ventures Allquist. Hi, Ryan.
Hey, Paul, how are you doing? Good to see you.
Nice to see you as well. I'm looking forward to help sharing the BVA story. We've known each other for a long time here in the Valley,
Yeah,
and you've been a chamber member for I don't know how long. And this is really a cool opportunity to feature BVA and you especially. But as you know, Ryan, these chamber check-ins they started a few years ago to help engage with our members during when we couldn't meet in person for quite a few
yeah,
years and
yeah.
they've become and sustained popular, and they're great ways of sharing our members' stories. So today is all about you and BVA, Ryan. But before we get to you, I get to thank our series sponsor for these check-ins. And Ryan, you know it's Delta Dental of Idaho, and Delta Dental has been providing best-in-class dental insurance benefits to Idahoans and businesses for over half a century. And with that, I'm going to share a fun factoid from their Tooth Truth series. Here we go.
Did you know that kids laugh around 400 times a day and adults just 15 times a day? Lighten up, adults.
All right, Ryan, you love that one. I know you do.
I like that one. We need to smile more, don't we? That one got me. And we
Well,
use Delta Dental, and they've been a great partner with for BVA. I'll put a plug in there, and not even a shameless plug. They are fantastic, and they've been our Delta or our dental partner since we started. So grateful for them.
what I know in your office, there's a lot of positivity and a lot of laughter that goes on and a lot of hard work. So that rings true.
Yeah, most days are fun. There's always the stressful days, but you got to smile through those as well.
Well, Ryan, I love to start these off with learning a little bit about the people behind the brands. So, Ryan, tell us a little bit about your background and history that led you to where you are today.
Sure, and I'll try to be as brief on this one as possible because today should be more about BVA than me, to be honest with you. But I started, well, I wouldn't even say that. I'll go back a little bit more. Graduated from Boise State University. Go Broncos! I've got my jacket on here to support the Broncos this weekend. Um, but got my accounting degree from there and went to work. And during school, I was working in the banking industry. Worked with KeyBank and got a nice finance background from that experience. But then went into the public accounting world and kind of started that groundwork for the accounting finance world that I jumped into, and had a variety of jobs after Arthur Anderson. Went to work with Doug Armstrong, former I think president of the chamber here locally. Doug was a great mentor for me at KTVB, and just I still have friends from KTVB days, and that was 20 years ago. It was a long time ago, and it was great to be with them. And then I've just been in a couple different industries, but about 10 years ago, I got into the commercial real estate side of things, and I've loved the industry. I always kind of dabbled on the side in real estate, so I understood the market. My brother was a broker for Thornton Oliver Keller, and so we would always kind of talk about the commercial real estate world. And I knew Tommy Alquist personally before we came together on the business side, and I actually took a project to him, and I said, "Hey, I want to do this project. What do you think? Give me your thoughts." And so we chatted for like an hour about this project, and he just said, "Hey, why don't you just come work for me?" And I said, "Make me an offer. Let's do it." And and we didn't. It didn't kind of come to fruition that day, but a few months later, we just kind of kept in contact. It all kind of came together, and that was the start of our relationship about 10 years ago.
I love that about Idaho. It's all about relationships and you the people that you meet over time, you begin to build relationships with them. And I love that story. So thanks for sharing a
Yeah,
little bit about your background, Ryan. So
sure.
another part about this series is really diving into the origin story of our members' businesses. So um, Ball Ventures Allquest is kind of a collaboration of some people. Why don't you tell us the origin story of BVA Development?
Yeah. I will add in there when you talk about what you love about Idaho. I'm a sixth generation Idahoan, and Idaho is like everything to our family. And the people that work here, so many of them have that same kind of Idaho root within them, and I mean, we're growing Idaho, and that might, some people don't like that. They want Idaho to stay the way that it is. But the reality is, it's such a great place for people to come to. But why not make it better along the way? And why not have a vested interest in the growth of what's inevitably going to happen? And so that's kind of how we've always viewed it, that we want to be part of it and really have a seat at the table for these discussions about how it's going to grow. So, like I mentioned, about 10 years ago, Tommy and I came together. He had already started with Gardner Company at the time, and then I joined them, and then we kind of grew it from there. You know, I don't want to refer a lot to the campaign, but the campaign had some influence on where Ball Ventures Alquist came from. And Tommy ran for governor, and then from there it kind of led into, okay, where are we going to go with this, and what are the opportunities? And we had a great partner in Gardner Company, but the vision to grow a little bit more and to do more things and to need more equity dollars kind of catapulted us into this relationship with Ball Ventures on the eastern side of the state. So we started our own firm, and we kind of branched out and said, let's do this on our own. So 5 of us started, Tommy and his dad and me and my brother and Holt Haga. We all started about 4.5 years ago, kind of sitting around a fold-out table and some chairs in a small office, figuring out, okay, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? And I think collectively, we all had quite a bit of experience in the real estate world. And so we weren't super scared about what was ahead of us, but we didn't know exactly what we were going to do. And so with some fortuitous partnerships that held land, I mean, Brighton Company had some land that we partnered with them at 10 Mile. Tommy had a relationship with Kent Orem at Idaho Central Credit Union that had bought the ground that you're looking at behind me, where now the Topgolf is, the old farmstead. Kent had bought that, and that relationship evolved into us taking over as the master developer and purchasing a large portion of it from Kent and ICCU, where they kept some of it, and they have a building out here as well that they office quite a few people in. So that's the background of how BVA started. And then today we sit at 37 employees. So we went from 5 to 37 in 4.5 years. So quite a bit of growth. We started out really as kind of development and leasing and a little bit of property management. Today we now, we still develop, we still lease, we still property manage quite a bit of space between our in-house property management and some of our third-party property management that we now do. We manage about 2 million square feet of space. So it's been a great growth story from us. And then at one point we said, hey, we really kind of need to control the verticals within this space. And so we oversaw some construction management, but we wanted to take it a step further and really control a little bit more, especially on the tenant improvement side, and try to be a partner with our tenants to say, hey, let us help you control your costs as you build out your space. And we don't need to charge as much in a fee, and we can try to lean on our relationships with subcontractors. And so we have a general contracting side of our business too. We brought Corey Hall in, former Boise State linebacker, and now in the BSU Hall of Fame, and former Green Bay Packer, Super Bowl guy. So those are the kinds of people that we said, let's bring into the team, people that love to work hard, not afraid to get their hands dirty, but understand the vision of what we're trying to do. I mean, we brought Kakoa Nawahini in, former BSU football player, onto the leasing side of things. And not everybody's a former BSU athlete, but the people that we've been really, really particular about who we hire, because they need to fit the clubhouse. We really kind of view this as a clubhouse of people, and we feel like we've got some of the best people in the Valley working here. It's been great.
Wow, what a great story in such a short amount of time to be able to accomplish what you've been able to accomplish so far, and there's more to come. So while we're talking about where you're at right now, that Eagle View land in the Topgolf behind you, we're so excited about that as well. Tell and share a little bit more about some of the other projects that we might be familiar with, and educate us a little bit more on those.
Sure. Yeah, shameless plug for Topgolf, but I just wanted people to see the cool venue that's behind us that is obviously changed the landscape. You drive along I-84 at night and you're like, whoa, what is this? So it's cool. We love it. It's been a great development. This has been awesome. We're the other big one is just a couple miles down the road to the west at 10 Mile Crossing. You see a number of office buildings there, and there's a Shields going in at that exit. And so there's a lot going on still in that area. And we've had great success with office tenants wanting to kind of be right there, center of the valley, great place for employees to come and work. And so we've got office space there that's been really successful. So then I'll kind of bookend the valley with two big developments. First, I'll go out west to Caldwell. Right at the beginning of COVID, we ended up purchasing about 115 acres out in Caldwell that we refer to as North Ranch. So right across the road on I-2026, which there's Sky Ranch out there, and we're North Ranch. And we really viewed this as being, maybe an industrial play. It's actually turned into much more than that. D&B Supply is about to open up their largest retail store right on that road, a 100,000 square foot store. They have been an incredible partner with us. We love those guys. And we're actually now also building back behind in that area a distribution center for them. They've just grown so much that they're going to have their own distribution center, another 100,000-ish square foot building. There's some industrial places out there. Idaho Central Credit Union bought some land to do a branch out there. We have a little retail store that's going in front to bring some restaurants, some food and other services. And I'm telling you, there's more activity still to come at that site. Although we're running out of land, there are still some cool things that are going to happen out at that site. So that's been a great project for us that maybe we didn't think at the time would kind of go as quickly as it did. But COVID hit, post-COVID, the market just got busy and it's filled up quickly. Then on the east end of the valley, the other big one, kind of two other big ones, Pleasant Valley, we purchased about 500 acres of land just south of the airport. And we purchased that with a couple of groups, Adler and a group of investors that their investment group is Sawtooth Investment Group. Great guys, and it's been fun to partner with them and learn from them. We'll see where that one goes, but we're still in the planning, development, the horizontal developments going on out there with some more roads and utilities. It's going to be a really major corridor to connect people from the airport to the south of Boise. And we feel strongly that that's a great place to position ourselves for future growth in the market. And then the other big one downtown that we're working on right now is the tower downtown. And so we're working on that tower and partnered with Idaho Central Credit Union. There's some multifamily component to that. And it's going to be a cool site when that one comes up. And we're hoping that one will come out of the ground here early in 2023.
Well, and I'm sitting in the building at Pioneer Crossing. But that was developed.
Yes, and I shouldn't forget that one. That's a great building. I don't want to say I forget about that one, but we built that one about 4 years ago, and it's been an awesome office building, and the hotel has been wildly successful. The parking garage is filling up, and so that's been a really, really great location for us too. Right as you come in off the connector to get into the heart of downtown, and so that's why we looked at the tower on the other end of downtown, and I guess you'd say kind of bookended the downtown corridor there with what we think will be great projects.
We love being in the core right here, and I'm so glad that y'all carved out a suite for us. And we just love being here, and with all the growth and the traffic that goes by, and I mean positive traffic, I mean commerce happening up and down this corridor. We're placed in just the perfect spot, Ryan.
You guys are right in the middle of those cars coming in and out. It's a great spot. No, it really is.
Hey, you mentioned 37 employees to date, and really that's what makes our engines run, or our people. Why don't you share a little bit about the experience and your incredible staff?
Yeah, I will tell you that I would fall on a sword for any one of these people. I absolutely love our team. They are amazing. Someone asked me a number of months ago, what keeps you awake at night? And I just said, our employees. And what I mean by that is I love these guys, and we need to make sure that our engine continues to run and we're making good decisions for them, because they trust us and they rely upon us to keep the engine running, so to speak. Now, we can't control all economic conditions around us, but it's been one that we've been strategic about, starting with kind of that core that I mentioned, and then building upon that. And we've tried to be smart about how do we grow our company and what do we need to bring in not for us necessarily, but to give our tenants a full experience right here in our office. So they don't need to leave to get, we can talk to them about development. We can talk to them about their leasing and rates and all that, but we can turn around and hand them off to, we have an architect that's in-house. And Brad Smith does an incredible job of sitting down with a tenant and space planning early on and trying to work through what finishes do you want? How do we navigate the tenant experience that they need within their office? And then we turn it over to our general contracting team and let them find the best way to build that space out for them at the most economic price as possible. Pricing has been interesting lately. Supply chain issues and costs have been going up and up and up, and so it's been more challenging. But we want to have a seat at the table and be partners with our tenants. So hiring those people, and then we hire 2 civil engineers as well, so we can control some of that in-house, because we're doing so much vertical development. When we acquired North Ranch and Pleasant Valley, and Eagle View Landing for that matter, we have great partners on the civil engineering side that are third-party consultants as well. But having a couple of them in-house as well helped us just make sure that we're understanding exactly what we're doing and getting answers quickly and coordinating with those third-party consultants. I'm not a civil engineer, so when you start talking those kinds of things to me, I'm clueless. And so it was nice to have some in-house experts. Exactly, it was going that way. Some in-house experts that can have that conversation with our consultants that help us. So, and then we hired some of the best accounting and finance people that we could get our hands on, and they're behind the scenes doing so much work. I can't remember. I think we're processing well over 50 tax returns every year. And that's growing with every entity, because we have a new entity for every building and property that we have. And so that number just keeps growing. I mean, to think where we were 4.5 years ago to today. And then I got to tell you, our team extends to our Ball Ventures team in Idaho Falls.
Yep.
And we couldn't be more blessed than to have a team like that is supporting us behind the scenes and letting us use some of their resources and expertise. So we absolutely love those guys. It's been great.
Inspire Excellence.
Yeah.
Help me share a little bit about that project and why it's important.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I mean, when you sit alongside Tommy Alquist, you better be ready every day for him to come in with a new idea. And quite honestly, that's why my role split recently from COO, CFO to just COO, so I could be more focused in line with him and take some things off my plate. So Inspire Excellence started with him about 3 years ago, really with the thought about, hey, how do we make our community better? And it evolved pretty quickly into how do we develop a program to help kids, teens really, and in some cases underprivileged teens that don't have the abilities that not everybody does. And so we wanted to reach out to them and say, okay, how do we connect you with jobs? So we started the Teens to Trades program. So let that guide your thought for a minute. This Teens to Trades program that we wanted to work with the Boys and Girls Club to say, okay, how do we help these kids prepare themselves to enter the workforce one day? How do we work with CWI, who trains up in these trades and teaches these trades, and how do we connect the kids with there? And so some great relationships have formed over the last year. But then the Inspire Excellence side of it really is to say, okay, let's go identify people and groups in the community that are doing amazing things. We want to recognize them, and we want to bring partners in to, I don't want to say reward them, because the reward is the work that they do, but really say, how do you sponsor Inspire Excellence to say thank you to all the people that are doing amazing things in our community, and then take the proceeds from those kinds of events and activities to then put that into this Teens to Trades program and put some funding behind it to really get a group of people to say, let's go help these kids. And so that's just one of the harebrained ideas that Tommy came up with to say, let's help the community in more than just real estate. We have connections, we know people, we love people, so let's help them out.
There's nothing more important than publicly recognizing those on the front lines that are making an impact in our community. And I loved seeing some of the social posts from Inspire Excellence this year.
Yeah.
Lots of people lots of people you rub shoulders with. Great job putting that together. I think that's just elevating how we recognize the people that we work with day in and day out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Ryan,
We're happy part of it.
Yeah, that's great. So with Top Golf in the backyard there, or the front yard, however you see it, and the rest of Eagle View Landing kind of taking shape, it's just been great. And 10 Mile and what you're talking about with North Ranch and Pleasant Valley and Pioneer Crossing. What's next, Ryan? Tell us a little bit about maybe some future goals, and then let's wrap it up with anything else you'd like to share with us.
Yeah. I think future goals is first, let's get the economy under control. I don't know how we do that, but we've got to get some traction on that underneath our feet. But I would say that we're always looking at a lot of different opportunities. There are plenty of opportunities in this market. For us, the future is simply whether it's this market or whether we expand our footprint into more of Idaho or even regionally. The future really is how do we make communities better? And that's really the vision that we're trying to go out with is let's make the place that we live a better community. And so we will continue to be involved, obviously in our BVA development business, but also in the communities that we're trying to go to say that's the future. So if we make sure that we keep sight of the end goal of what we're trying to accomplish, the rest of it will fall into place and things will happen the right way, the way that they're supposed to. So that's the future. Let us stay focused on the reason why we do this, and then we'll go find cool projects to do. I don't know what the next Top Golf is in the Valley, but we're going to go find it.
Well, there's so many tangible evidence that reminds us that you're doing what you say you're going to do. During pandemic, you started these health clinics and these vaccination stations and different ways of getting through that. Now with Inspire Excellence and recognizing publicly those people that make an impact. And then that teams to trades, I think that's just crucial. Ryan, I have your website scrolling on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening, take an opportunity and look at some of their projects, look at some of the impact that they've made, check out the people on their team, bvadev.com. Ryan, thanks so much for your time today. It truly is an honor to feature you and your business. I look forward to our next conversation.
Yeah, me too. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate you having us on and for the help that you guys do in the community too. The chamber is critical for Boise and the Treasure Valley to keep growing. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Our pleasure. We love the partnership, Ryan. Hey, have a great weekend. Have a great Thanksgiving with your family.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Take care.
Thanks.